Ready? Yep. Hey everybody, this is Trooper Joe. I'm here on ArchAngel of Return to Chivalry. And you can catch ArchAngel of Return to Chivalry in about 3 different ways. Now you go to TuneIn Radio, listen to ArchAngel. You can go to Will's Facebook page and listen to ArchAngel, or you can go to www.facebook.com/archangel.a.return.to chivalry. A lot of dots in there. All capitals on those first letters, you know, even when the split of ArchAngel, Arch and Angel, both capital letters on A. Or you can go to 7avradio.com. So you got a lot of options out there, folks, just to listen to me talk to you about things that I know nothing about, but just like saying anyway. So tune in and let's see if we can't have a good time when we're talking about it. But I have to say right now, I'm not going to start the show with a good thing. I'm getting really tired and you know, I'm really not a person who gets upset, but I'm tired that all these killings are taking place of black people or any other kind of person out there by the police officers. I've been talking about the police officers, trying to give them their due in a positive light. I know that there are good police officers out there, but it looks as though that there's some bad police officers out there, and there needs to be some kind of intervention on the behalf of the citizens. And I'm talking real citizen board to oversee some of the training that goes on with the police officers, some of the cultural interactions that go on with the police and the community, and just not police procedures, how to draw a pistol or how to take somebody down, or any, you know, how to drive a car, or any of those things that really don't have anything to do, but how to interact with the civilian population. Because it looks to me like there's such a fear out there now among the police that they're going to get killed by black people. It was kind of growing since back there before Ferguson. It was even growing, that, you know, hearing comments like, well, I got to go home to my family. Well, of course you got to go home to your family. Ain't no one asking you not to go home to your family. But you took on the responsibility to protect and serve. You're not a Gestapo member. You're not walking around there beating people in the head and stuff like that. You are, but you shouldn't be. You know, that's not the job of a police officer. Your job is to protect and serve. And your job isn't to be doing funny little break dances with little girls on the street and stuff like that. That's cute, but you know, that's not your job. You're the frontline person to protect the citizens of this country, all the citizens of this country, whether they be looking like you or they look like me. It's your job, and you took it. You like that paycheck, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a little bit tired and disturbed with those incidents. The one in Tulsa, that lady ain't got no business being out there on the front line. She had no business being there. Yeah. It looks, at least in my humble opinion, is that lady panicked. She probably thought she was holding a taser in her hand, and she shot the guy dead. It's like, had no business being in there. And her husband in the helicopter, shame on you, you little punk. What are you, who are you? You're about 1,500 feet above the thing, or at least 500 feet above the thing, and you're going to be saying, that looked like a big bad dude down there. It's like, come on, man. Are you serious? You ain't even down in there on the front thing. Your wife was down there taking care of the thing, and I don't see what the arrest was for in the first place. It looked like his car broke down and he called the police for assistance. And then, oh yeah, he's on PDS or something. One of them mind-altering drugs. And it's like, and she's a drug expert and can tell. Come on, I've seen a guy on PCP before. I seen a guy on PCP when I was a kid. I seen him attack a trolley. You know, I didn't see this guy attack anything. I see the guy walking back to into his suburban car. You know, he got this big old car, and obviously, yeah, that's a bad man right there driving that big suburban car and stuff. Yeah, he probably gonna go down there and eat a bunch of worms or something. I don't know, cause he looks crazy. Guy was walking slow with his hands up. It's like that shit looks crazy to me. Yeah, he's a danger to himself and to all trolleys. Yeah, but that's it. And then this second one, I'm not even sure how that came about and everything, but that really was a situation that was out of control. He wasn't even the person of interest, and now he's the person that's dead, and all these riots and things are starting to happen and stuff. I can't have any fault against the rioters and stuff. I think it's a bad policy. I'm not going to say that it's a good policy. I don't think any crowd mentality is really a good type of thing, unless it's organized well and it's planned well. You know, but if it's just a random type of crowd get together, you get actions that come like that. And then when you got people out there in space looking riot gear or futuristic looking riot gear standing there in front of you, it's like, you know, it's not a good look. And so for myself personally, I firmly believe that there needs to be a civilian Overwatch board, and I believe that the people on that board have to come from all walks of life. And yes, that does include felons that were in jail. You know, everybody. There should be a board that consists of the highest professional professions out there, and people, like I said, that were in jail for crime stuff. Not violent crimes or anything, but they could be asked too. But all those people should be there on a civilian watch to help govern the way that the police learn to interact with the community. And I think that will make a big difference in the way that the police and the community start to see each other. Because just doing what we're doing right now, it's not benefiting anyone. You know? And the people that are really getting to take the brunt of that and delusion is the black population. And that's just out of control. That's just nonsensical. It does not have to happen. You know, and I'm here with Will from the 5 o'clock shadow, who might have something that he want to say right now.
I know you're talking about the Tulsa, Oklahoma shooting. There was also another shooting in Charlotte, North Carolina, and his name is Keith Lamont Scott, and they are now currently rioting in Charlotte, North Carolina. The police are shooting tear gas over an incident where a man was sitting in his car waiting for his son to get out of school. Now, according to police, he got out of his car and had a gun and then got right back in his car. Why? I don't know. But the person who shot him, who's also allegedly an African American, he didn't have a body camera on. But the police claim the other officers there did have body cameras on, but they are not releasing the video yet.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Let me go pick up my son. Okay, gotta get my son. Let me tell you, should I take the 38? No, it's too slow. You know, it's a revolver. Should I take the 9? I like the 9. You know, I like the feel of it in my hand while I go pick up my son from his daycare or first grade. It's like, is this really what the world is coming to? Yeah, is that really what it is? And the police roll up on the guy like that. What are you doing? Don't even say hello, don't do anything. Looks suspicious to me. You're sitting in the car reading a book. No, that's suspicious. Black guy reading, gonna have to pull over and investigate this situation like that. Yeah. Oh, he got out the car with a gun. Got back in the car with a gun. Got out the car, so I shot him. It's like, why would anybody take out a gun, get out the car with a gun? That doesn't even make sense. You know, it's like, and these are things, I think the fear is so great within some of these police officers that it just overwhelms them, and that's what fear does to you. You don't even know how they react. I've actually seen people in the war. I had a friend, he's dead, he attacked the wrong bunker. It was definitely out of an adrenaline rush and pure fear. He ran up on that bunker like he was watching a James, some kind of movie, and the other bunker was the one where the Vietcong were hiding out. Couldn't stop him, he was gone. And he was gone after they put him down too. But that's the same thing. When you're in fear, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, that adrenaline kicks in, you feel whatever, that cortisone or whatever those kind of, I'm just pushing your passion and pulse and every other thing that goes on within your mind into such a rage, and you just really lose control. And that other shooting where the guy shot the guy in the car, when the man, he even told him, I got a license to carry a gun. All he heard was gun and saw a black guy started shooting. That boy had no business being anything but an accountant. Nothing against you accountants and stuff like this, but this boy don't need to be let out. He need to be inside the building. You know, he was too scared. He had no business being a person that was that scared with a gun. And the right to carry a gun and be a police officer. This was just wrong. He was somebody, sorry son, you can't have that job. You just ain't built that way. And that's what I think a lot of these police are like that right now. They're not built to be police officers. Some of them might be over brutal in their own mind. And then some of them might be so timid and scared, hoping that, you know, I'm doing this for a paycheck. I like the job. I like the feel of the uniform. I got this Batman belt on. Got all kinds of gadgets on it and stuff. And it's really good. But who's suffering for this? Black men. It's like, and you know, it's like there's actually a phobia going around with black men. You know, they're scared that they could get shot if they get stopped at a stop sign or something like that by a police officer. What kind of world is that? There's no protect and serve there. You know, they're actually afraid. How do you act with the police now? It's like, well, I guess the only way to act is to be a 5'2" white guy, you know, because other than that, they're going to be scared of you. No telling what they're going to do. You know, it's really a bad situation like that. And I just wanted to bring my little 2 cents into that like that, because I'm kind of tired of it myself right now. And if I could have the air and say something about it, I think it's my responsibility to say something about it. And again, like I said, I got nothing against police, you know, except that if you put on that badge to protect and serve, then do your job. You know, or take it off. Go get another job someplace like that. But if you got that badge on for some crazy reason, maybe to pick up girls or something like that, and we know you guys aren't all that straight. Well, just arrested 30 of you for molesting people and trying to asking them for sexual favors and stuff. You got a whole nother group up there in Gloucester that just got under indictment for, they ain't even saying what they're investigating these guys for. So it's like, but we know you're human. Humans in this day and age, it seems like they think they can get away with anything. And when you arm a bunch of people that got knuckleheads and ball bearings for brains, then this is what you're going to get, you know. And I'm done with that for right now and everything. So Will got a couple more comments he wants to say.
Nope, I think I've said enough on Twitter, and I think I need to be quiet because I think my emotions will take over. Yeah. Because things like this raise your emotions high, and then when your emotions are high, it's harder to control what comes out of your mouth and how you react to things.
Yeah, so exactly, that's just what I'm talking about. Except that their emotions get high and their adrenaline starts to pump, and they got a gun in their hand. Mm-hmm. What's up with that? They need. Let's bring in civilian overwatch board that at least gets these people to acclimate themselves to the cultures that they're going to protect. Protect, police. I know you're listening. Protect and serve. You don't even have to serve them, you know, they serve themselves. But you got to protect them. That's your job. Alright, well, I'm going to let that go. And I want to play one more song before I get into a little bit of other stuff like that. I'm going to play that one.
We're not going to take it?
Yeah.
Alright.
Ready?
Yeah. Get good.
We're not gonna take it. Oh, I'm back? Yeah, I was just wrapped up and not taking it anymore, you know, trying to alleviate some of this stress. You know, I guess that's what it is. I really not that well versed on stress. I really don't do it much in my life, I guess, because I find it pretty useless. But I'm going to talk about stress today and how you can use it to produce the positive results you seek, or how it can use you to produce negative, unwanted results. That's what stress does. You can either use stress to your best interest, or you can let stress use you and you can totally be out to lunch. You know, no one really wants stress, you know, because you worry, you pace, you talk to yourself, you just go all over the place. But this behavior is individual and can have a positive result when you think. So you know, you're talking to yourself, you're pacing and you're worrying, but you're thinking. And you're analyzing the situation that you're thinking about, you know. And then, here's the point, people, you get a plan. You're going to plan to take care of this, what you were thinking about or what you had analyzed during your pacing and your walking around. And this is where it comes in. Because with a plan of your own design, and that's key, of your own design, you are much closer to a positive result. Because there's many ways out there to have a plan. You know, you can, we'll get to that and everything. But if the plan comes from your own design, it's an individual plan. Who better going to know about the stress that you're feeling than you? Yeah, and if you let the positive result, if you're walking around pacing and everything, that's fine. That's fine. You're talking to yourself, mumbling and everything, and that's all fine. But now you put that in, you grab hold of that kind of actions and stuff, and you start to mold it to, so that you start analyzing your situation and you come up with a plan. And there's another thing that you can do to help with this. And remember, this is from Chivalry. This is Chivalry within itself. And remember, the greatest privilege one can have is the privilege of doing something for someone else. That's Chivalry. That's it in a nutshell. That's the greatest thing you can do. And stress sometimes offers you, the person who's feeling all that stress, the opportunity to allow someone else the privilege, you know, of doing something for someone else. Because look at it, in stressful time, let's not pretend you're at one of your weakest moments, you know. The stress has overwhelmed you. You just feel vulnerable. You feel weak. You feel as though everything's going against you. You're not in a total state of depression where you're just going to go crawl up in the bed and never come out. Or you may be in a total state of depression when you want to do this. But if you have a plan and have someone else, a friend, to talk to. Now this is key too. This is just all my personal Tupa Joe opinion. Not family. No, you want a friend. Not a counselor. You want a friend, not a priest. You know, you want a friend. Granted, they may all be friends, but what you're really, the person that's going to really be able to give you absolutely nothing and help you formulate your plan is a friend. You know, because the friend is going to be someone who knows you much better than you might even know yourself, because friendship is something that a real friend I'm talking about, that comes about from some mysterious place way off in the universe. You know, you don't know why you like the person or why you have a close connection with a person, but it's like, I got you. But a friend, that's somebody that you trust. You know? And that's important. You may not trust the people in your family. You love them, but unquestionably, but you may not trust them to understand what you're going through. You know, your parents might be too old, your siblings might be the ones that beat you up. Who knows, you know? But they may not be. A counselor, it's like, I'm paying you, Holmes, you got to fix me. Yeah, you know, you're the counselor. I'm here because you're the professional and I'm paying you. And a priest, he comes with a lot of other people around him. You know, he comes and he represents God and he represents all these things, and God gave you choice. You know, so he give you the opportunity to choose to get a plan and work that plan, and that's what God does, you know. So that's why you need a friend. Because you know that your friend has your back. A true friend, he has your back, or she has your back. It doesn't matter. I mean, it can be a guy friend, it can be a girlfriend, it can be any kind of friend like that. You know, and they have your best interest at hand, because that's why they're your friends, and you have their best interest at hand. And you know that you would be there for them. And that's another part that's really, really important, is that even with all this stuff going on, you know in your heart, if they needed you in that situation, I got your back. You know, I'm right there for you. And that trust that you have between that person and a friend, and then the plan that you make, you know, hashing it out with your friend, that's going to make all the difference when it comes to stress. Yeah. And, you know, and an individual approaches stress with a friend can produce much quicker and better, and a better plan. They can help you with your plan. You know, they could say, whoa, do you really think that's going to work? Or they could say, hey, why don't we try this? And they got the universal we in there like this, because you know you're going to know it's your plan and that you have to do the work, but they're right there with you, so that we is very, very important. You know? And you also know that they'll be keeping with your beliefs, because they know you. You know? And they love you as a friend. And they'll be keeping within your value system. They're not going to try to introduce into your stressful situation something that you're not going to do. You know, they know you because they love you. They're your friend. They know that, you know, it's like, well, why don't we just sit down here with 10 pounds of cookie dough and why don't we eat that? You know, that'll take care of all the stress in the world, you know, and a lot of other things too. But I'm sure a friend isn't going to, they're not going to make that offer to you because they know you. And so that's all it is. They'll give you positive results, because the friend you talk with and you listen and they listen, and that's important, and you're honest. And honesty and the truth is the very, very much thing. And you feel the love. You know? With a friend, you feel the love because you feel that your interest is being taken in at first. Right now, you're vulnerable, the friend is there, it's all about you. It ain't about them, it's about you. And they make you feel not afraid. And now there's two of you. The big bad wolf, you know, he ain't coming after two sheeps. He'll go after one sheep. He don't like after two sheeps. He just likes one. And with a true friend, like I said, you're never alone. And all these things help dealing and solving any stressful situation. So these are very important things that to keep in mind when you're dealing with any type of stress. And I'm sorry to say I'm not a good thing with stress, because my best friend is my honey. You know? So I already know she got my best interest. And then my other best friend that I really got, it ain't a best friend, it's the person that I consider to be my friend and stuff, is another person right around here. I ain't seen in a year, but doesn't matter. I know that friend would, if I called that friend and needed to have an ear, I know that friend would be there for me. Just like that. And I would be there for that friend too. So, you know, that's just the way things work. You know, if you really want to deal with getting rid of stress. Now, there's some bad things that you can do getting rid of stress too. There's some things that really, they don't work. I don't think they work anyways. And let me see if I can put this in some kind of context. And so, what is one of the worst and most dangerous, stressful situations is the one that's not yours. That's a very dangerous, stressful situation to put yourself in, because it's not yours. It's not anyone. It's not your friends, it's not your families or any of those people like that. It's a stressful situation brought on by society that or maybe, I don't know what brings it on. You might have just been lonely for a minute, and then the next thing you know, you got yourself in trouble and started just going off the wall, and now you don't know what to do because you never knew how you got there in the first place. You never had a plan on how to get out of any situation that you were put into. So your emotions make it seem as though you must act. Those are those situations where they're dangerous, because you're all fired up, your adrenaline's rushing, you got all this stuff, your nostrils are flared wide, your eyes are big, you're all fired up, you're zooming back and forth and left and right, and you're emotionally driven to do something because of the situation, whatever it might be. Today, obviously, I was near that nostril flaring thing with the way that all these things are just taking place in the news. So, but this, and you feel like you must act, and you should act, but you need a plan. You can't act without a plan. You just keep going in a circle, or you're just standing still stomping your feet. And everybody's seen that with little kids and everything. That's called a temper tantrum. Their emotions are way out. They're in some high level stress, but it's a temper tantrum. Speed the stomping, having no idea what's going on, and that's not a good thing. That's not a good place to be. But that's a place that they want to be anyway. So you got to have a plan, and that plan has to be thought out. So if it's not your situation, how are you really objectively going to think out a plan that's going to work? You'd have a hard time in doing that. Not to say that it's impossible, just to say that you'd have a hard time doing that, because you didn't originate that stress. It didn't originate in you. It originated someplace else. You don't know what brought about the stress. You don't know you don't know anything actually. So so there's no complete understanding of the situation. So without the complete understanding of the situation, how are you going to be trying to address a stressful situation like that? So you got to take time to formulate that plan. So, and before you can formulate that plan, you got to calm down those emotions. Like I said, you just either walking around in a circle, or you're just stomping your feet and having a temper tantrum. So, what we're left with here, in a situation like that, is what you call incomplete knowledge. And that's exactly what it is. It's incomplete knowledge. Because every stressful situation comes with a large amount of variables. There's just like the situation I was talking about at the opening of the show. There was a large amount of variables in there. The one in Tulsa, for my own personal thing, they got the lady in there. She had no business being in the field. She got the situation with her husband up top telling her that this is a bad dude, so filling up her head with a whole lot of stressful type of things like that. She's supposed to be some expert on drug actions or things like that. So now her imagination runs over to PCP, which maybe he was, I don't know. But obviously, she don't know. All you could see was a guy in khakis, black guy in khakis, in a t-shirt, driving a Suburban. Okay, I'm scared of him. You know, you know, really? Come on. But in her mind, this is a dangerous individual. Because everybody knows dangerous individuals drive Suburbans and they wear khakis and they wear clean white t-shirts. And they walk slowly with their hands up. So the variables there, you know, they're just, they should have been weighed. But her emotions in the situation that she should have never been in the first place, it wasn't hers to be in, took her out, you know, from what I see. And she should be held accountable for her actions, not only her, but also her police captains and other people over her. And her husband should be taken out of that chopper, you know. But these variables are the things that you can't formulate your plan on if you don't know what they are, and you can't look at them if your emotions are wandering all over the place. And we need to assess variables when we're dealing with stress. And that, and again, like I said, the best way I believe to do that is talk it out with a friend, you know. Sit down, comfortable place. Crack open a few beers if you want to, have a tea if you want to, whatever you know, whatever you want, drink some water, whatever it is that you want. But you want to get with that friend and talk out that situation. Yeah? You don't want to try to let your emotions govern the way that the situation is going to play out. So I'm playing another song here. I'm going to let Will just push any button he wants to. And that would be a good thing, because I forgot to put one in there. And that'd be nice. Maybe another James Brown would be nice. I like James. I like James. You like James Brown? Everybody like James Brown. Yeah. You think he got pulled over? Oh, you bet he got pulled over. But what James said when he went out, because he was really angry and stressful and all upset at his wife and everything, and what he do? Shot his car, because he knew if he shot his wife he'd go to jail. Alright. We back? Hello. Okay, we're back. This is Trooper Joe, and we're back right here on 7NAV Radio, on Will's Facebook, and on Facebook with ArchAngel.
Nope, we're on ArchAngel's Facebook page now, not Will's.
I want to be on Will's too. We're on ArchAngel's Facebook page. I want to be on everybody's Facebook page. I'm kind of greedy like that. Put me everywhere.
Alright.
Yeah? But anyway, we're back. Now I'm going to go through another part of this here, stressful type of situation and how to handle these things. And remember, we're talking about the worst ways. And the worst way of ever getting involved in any kind of stressful situation is in a crowd. Yeah? Crowds substitute emotion for thought. And what I mean by that, you don't have any thoughts in a crowd. You're basically working off of sheer emotions. You know, this is just what happens within a crowd. You know, you lose your individuality. You know, because there's so many people there with you. You know, you're not yourself anymore. So your emotions, even though you know your emotions aren't the best thing to work off of, even those are gone. Because your individuality has been taken away from you. Not to say that you should never be engaged in a crowd. No, I'm not saying that. But if you're going to be in a crowd situation, it should be a crowd situation that has planning, has direction, and has some kind of outcomes that it's trying to reach. Not just a crowd situation where you have emotions that no longer you know, your emotions have taken over so greatly that your thought process isn't there. You're just working off of pure adrenaline and instinct. So, yeah, what happens within the crowd, you start doing this, you start mirroring the behaviors of others. And by that what I mean, you start to act like the person next to you on your left and your right. You start to act like the person that's in front of you or the person that's behind you. You start to act like all the people that's just around you. You all start to look like one. And it's usually the easiest looking person or easiest looking behaviors that get the most attention. And this is called a chameleon effect. So you start to all stand like each other, you know. You might be in some power pose, like, and you ain't never been in a power pose in your life. But here you are in the crowd, standing in a power pose, being as defiant as you want to be, working off of pure emotion with no thought, and not even entering in the back of your mind, why am I standing here like this? But that's how it is. And then you start to talk like everybody else, you know. And if the vocabulary and if the words that are being thrown around are from the lowest corner of the universe, all the 4-letter words that you can find to say stuff, or any other denigrating word that's out there that you can say to bring down somebody else, you start to use those words even if you never said them before in your life. Because that's the chameleon effect. So you start to stand around in your little power pose with your little, like a Klingon, all leaning over like this here, and your hair all up and everything. You might even grow a beard while you're doing it. Don't know. You know, sometimes that happens. And then you start to talk like, and all forceful and things like that. And then you start to move like them, you know. Yeah, you've seen it on commercials and everything. It's called walking hard. You know, you start to walk high. Boom, boom. You got this swagger going on. Everybody swaggering down the streets. Real scary. Intimidating as it wants to be. You know, but you never did it before. You don't even know why you do. Why am I swaggering in this Klingon power pose swearing? What? Who is this person? I don't even know who this person is. But this is what takes place when you're in a crowd type of mentality. You know, and that's, like I said, that's the chameleon effect. It's all mirroring that takes place. Now, I've lost my oh, yeah, we gonna read for you. That's right, because y'all like reading, and it helps me learn how to read. And that's a good thing. So, if I can find what I was going to read, I'm going to read it to you in a few minutes, because I found it. Alright, so again, in the crowd, and we'll be talking a little bit more about this crowd and stuff like that in a minute, under chameleon effect. But I want to bring on about something else that has to do. First, let me just explain a little bit. When you're in the crowd, the objective is persuasion. You know, you're trying to force your idea or whatever it is that you have, which is being governed by emotion. So the thought process really isn't on all that sound on somebody else, right? For whatever outcomes that you're looking for. So this is what you're doing. So I'm going to read from my book. Everybody see my book? Aesop's Fable. I see it. That's my book. Alright. I like this kid's book because it got easy words that I could read without stumbling over too much. So I'm going to read about the north wind and the sun. Alright. Now the north wind and the sun, they was having a dispute arose between the north wind and the sun. Each claimed that he was stronger than the other. At last they agreed to try their powers upon a traveler, to see which one could soonest strip him of his cloak. They used strange words in this kid's book. The north wind had the first try. and gathered up all his forces for the attack. And he came whirling furiously down on the man and caught up his cloak as though he would rip it from him by one single effort. But the harder he blew, the harder he blew, the more closely the man wrapped it around himself. So it didn't work. Then came the turn of the sun. At first he beamed gently on the traveler, who soon unclasped his cloak and walked on, with it hanging loosely about his shoulder. Then he shone forth with his full strength, and the man, before he had gone many steps, was glad to throw his cloak right off and complete his journey more lightly clad. So persuasion, this is the little thing that Aesop fable had. Persuasion is better than force. Alright? So just keep that in mind. That it's much better to be a planned, persuasive individual than it is to be a unthoughtful type of blowhard. I guess is the best way to say it, all that big mighty wind and everything, it's not going to work when you're trying to get somebody to take off their coat. But he didn't have a plan. So it's better to be a planned, successful, enlightened individual than it is to be a blowhard. And again, so let's go back to this crowd mentality, you see. See, in the crowd mentality, you get the blowhards, they take over. And like I said, you start to be looking like a Klingon and grow lots of hairy faces and get those cranial notches on your head and stuff like that, and start to swear a lot and walk hard. Because that you start mimicking the other person's behavior. But you also take on their mental behavior too. You start to take on the knowledge and idea of the crowd. If you're in the crowd because you're protesting against something, your emotions are going to be taking on all the ideas that's going to be circled around, and there's going to be many ideas until they all start to congeal together, and they're all going to be formed on the same one. And that one idea generally going to come from somebody with an unrational mind. Because remember, you turned into a Klingon. You weren't a Klingon, nothing against your Klingons now. You're some pretty bad folks. But, you're a warrior type of race. So you turned into somebody whose main thing was a forceful type of existence rather than a strategic type of bright existence. So you have to be careful when you're going into a crowd and trying to get your thing. You have to understand within yourself your own individuality and have your own plan on what you're going in there for. If you know why you're going in there's plenty of reasons to go into a situation, and there's plenty of reasons not to go into the situation. But if you just go into the situation blindly, you're only going to be working off of instincts, and emotional instincts at that. And when we leave the crowd and reflect on what we realize what happened, we're confused, just like, what did I do? How did I become a Klingon like that? Did I really accomplish anything out there? Yeah, it felt good for the moment, I was good. I was right in the mix. I was in the 12th row of the crowd, well into the middle, hidden so that nobody could see me. Because there's one thing that crowds really like to bring out in people, and that's cowardice. Cowardice is one of the main focal points of crowds. As long as you got your what do you call it? Anonymity, I think is the word. Anonymity. Yeah, you could do and say anything you want to do, and if everybody else is a Klingon, you could be a Klingon. If everybody else is swearing, you could swear. If everybody else is walking hard, you can walk hard. Because the mirrored effect like that gives you total anonymity. That word again, anonymity. and with that, you're invisible. in the crowd. And that invisible shield gives you all the strength that you need to be the biggest coward that you'll ever be. You know? Not to say that you shouldn't ever go into crowds this time. Like I said, if it's well planned, well thought out, well organized, and there's a point to it, there's an end point, there's an outcomes to it, by all means, get out there. Make your voice heard, but make your voice heard. Don't be the invisible Klingon in the crowd, because then that's all you'll get to be. So we can become fully engaged in the actions, even though, and we do not agree with what that action is, or that event is, or that issue is. But we can become fully engaged in that action. You might have been on your way to the store, and here all of a sudden the crowd formed and everything, and you got drawn into the crowd. What's going on, man? Hey, this is cool. What we marching for? Yeah, we're marching for that. Yeah. And all of a sudden you notice your arms start to curl up under you. You start to lean a little bit over. Your head gets a little bit bigger. Your words get shorter. Yeah, beep, 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 beep. Yeah, I know just what the beep, 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 beep. Now you're starting to, your swag is on and you're walking out. Forgot all about the milk and bread and diapers that you gotta buy. But you're gonna get it when you come home, boy, because it's gonna be rough. But you got drawn into that crowd mentality, and you're walking hard and you're supporting something that you may not even believe in. You may be somebody totally against this, the actions of what's going on, but yet there you are, walking hard with your Klingon face, growing all kinds of facial hair and little facial lumps on your forehead. So you got to watch out for that stuff. And that's exactly what takes place in crowds mentality. Not everybody, because there are some leaders in the crowd that just have this ability to lead. And most of the time, they might be blowhards, just like that big north wind, you know. They got the megaphone and they're shouting out all the different kind of things and chanting this and chanting that, and you got you chanting and walking and everything, and they're very forceful and blowhard, but they're not going to be able to remove the cloak off of anybody. They're not going to really get their point across because they don't have a plan. So they don't have outcomes to reach. They're just being a blowhard at the time. Where like somebody else in an organized situation, the plan is, you know, follow me because this is what we're marching for. This is the event that we want to really turn around. These are the procedures that we're going to follow. These are the steps that we want. This is the change that we're demanding. You know, these things are important for people. You know, people need to have direction. You know, the Ranger motto is follow me, and they're one of the baddest outfits out there. But follow me isn't a crowd mentality. Follow me is because I got a plan, and here's the plan. They inform you on the plan. They let you know about the plan. You're engaged in the plan. You have a voice in the plan. Your voice matters and everything. And then when you bring all those together within the crowd, now you got a formative army. You know, that's what you made yourself into. Now you got an army. Now you got leaders, you got direction, you got people that's going to be watching your back, you got things that's going to take place so that you just don't. And one of the more powerful people that you'll have is somebody to keep you from getting too stupid. You know? Sometimes in the crowd people get so emotionally driven without any thought, because they really were just going to buy some milk, bread, and Pampers, that they don't know what they're doing. So their emotions take over in such a high state of emotional arousal, they start to act up. You know, Klingons can act up too. They bang them big cranial heads and, you know, and pull each other's beard. And I mean, they can get downright into it. You know? And that's a failure. And these come about because of emotions. And well, I'm almost out of time here. So with these, without direction, without a plan, without you know, confusion, all you're really going to get is loud noise. You're going to get no direction. You're going to get no outcomes. You fail. Because there was never a plan to succeed. Your emotions cancel out your individuality because you don't have any real individual thought. You're just working off of pure emotions. And they're replaced with wild enthusiasm. And even though wild enthusiasm may be nice for the moment, you know, it really good. Oh man, I had a great time out there protesting everything. Store closed. Poor kid, you know, we had to fashion some makeshift diapers and stuff for the baby and everything, and you know, we borrowed some milk, some bread off the neighbors, but you know, we got through it, but boy did I have a great time. So wild enthusiasm is alright if that's what you want to do, but to tell you the truth, wild enthusiasm not productive. There's nothing that can be produced from wild enthusiasm other than an emotional arousal on your part. You know? But it's a fleeting emotional arousal. It's not a sustainable emotional arousal. Alright, I got about a minute left. Oh, I ain't even got that left anymore. Yeah. Alright, I'm done. This is Trooper Joe. Thanks for being here. And we do this again next week. Alright, I'm gone. Alright. Alright.
Oh man, today.
I thought that went pretty good.